All right, can anybody hear me now? Alrighty, I'm not really sure. Oh wait, well, let's see. How about now? Can you hear me now? You can hear me now. Okay, well, I turned off my Bluetooth. I don't know why that would have done anything, but you never know. Okay, yay! The good news about doing anything with computers is that you can count on there always being something fun and different every time. All right, let's try again. So when you cut out when you use this large die to cut from a piece of DSP, it's actually going to cut it all the way out. It could have done it differently, but it didn't. It actually cuts it all the way out, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4, which is pretty well perfect for a card front. So what I did to start with is I took about 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm just going to adhere this to the center of my Misty Moonlight card base. And all you want to do is just be sure that it's centered enough that when you put your card front on centered, you can't see any white and you don't have any gaps there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that with a little bit of liquid glue. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. That was, I made a point of putting my headset in in their, their little charger case, because I have had it where they tried to connect even though I didn't want them to. Weird, right? They won't connect if you do want them, but don't connect if you don't. So, but I put them away because I didn't want to have that happening. Computers are great. We can't kill them and we can't work without them. Okay, so now there's a little pack of ribbon in I think it's in the annual catalog, and it's called the Misty Moonlight and White Starter Pack ribbon, and it's a 1/4 inch ribbon, and I've got this one in Misty Moonlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of glue dots to adhere this around my, oh, let me get rid of some of that extra. And we're going to adhere that right in the middle of the card front. I played around a little bit with putting this at the bottom, and I finally just decided I liked it in the middle. The middle seemed like a good spot. So we're just going to wrap it around like so, right in the center of that gap right there. And I'm not going to make it too snug. In fact, I'm going to make it a little less snug than even that was. Okay. Because I want it to be loose enough that I can wrap some ribbon around it when we get to that place. When I can wrap a bow around, how about that, is what I'm attempting to say, just not very well. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a whole bunch of dimensionals on this card front, because I really want it supported. And I've got a bunch of kind of cut ones here, so I'm going to put them on as well. But we're going to get real busy with them. Be generous. You've cut them in half already, so you're really only using like half at a time. So it's not a big a deal. It's not wasting dimensionals at all. It's just not. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to use these little pieces too that I cut. I don't even remember why I still had these pieces. Oh, I do, because I got this one idea that I would put some dimensional under the leaves to hold them up, and it just didn't work like I thought, so I didn't do it. There you go. All right, here we go. And that looks like good coverage. And so now we'll spend 5 or 10 minutes taking all these little lids off. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm fixing to do a lot of gluing with liquid glue. Okay, I have a lot of pieces to do. Oh, I needed a dimensional right there. No such thing as too many dimensionals on here. I want it sticking up good. But it's a little persnickety, not difficult, just persnickety. But it's going to be so worth it when you have all those little silver flowers on the inside of all of your white flowers. Y'all, they are looking for snow south of us. south of us in South Georgia. They're calling for the possibility of snow tonight. So that'll be quite the thing. It won't last very long because it was warm all day. I mean, like warm. Warm is relative. I guess down like in Tifton, they were saying it was around 60. So all the roads will be too warm to hold any actual snow. But you know, we don't have any snow equipment, so I'm certain everybody is getting all ready for it. Hey, Linda, I appreciate you coming. All right, so now we're just going to adhere this to the front, making sure it's in the center and straight, double checking we can't see any white and that we have all white fill in our flowers. And we do. Et voila. Okay, so now what I did is I used those 3 little flower dies, these 3, and I ran it through 4 times. That makes 12 on a piece of silver foil. And so I cut out, I've got a whole bunch of these little tiny flowers. And I got rid of the little leaf negatives, but I'm keeping these little top pieces because I thought they looked real cute inside the flowers. All right, so now we're just going to do some liquid gluifying. You don't need a bunch. And if you want to use adhesive sheet, you certainly could. But for me, it's a little bit of overkill. You don't need a bunch of adhesive. You really don't. So the liquid glue works pretty nice. And I believe that the persnicketiness of getting the backing off of the adhesive sheet on these little tiny dies would negate any savings in time that you got. Okay, so just stick it down in there and move on to the next one. Don't get hit. Just, you know, put a book on tape on and you'll be fine, I promise. You don't need a lot of glue. The place that people get into trouble here is when they think they need liquid glue in the same way that they needed Elmer's glue when they were in elementary school. No, sir, no, ma'am. You just need a little dab will do ya. And then you can just kind of push it down and it'll get stucked right where it belongs. I promise. Okay? So we're just going to do that 10 more times. Yes. By the time I get done, you will have a very good idea of how to do this. You can hear the race from your house. Now, which race is that? I don't know. Goes to a race in Bristol. I don't know what, a car race? I guess. When we lived in Dover, Delaware, the Dover Downs was right around the corner from us. Actually, it didn't matter where you lived in Dover, Delaware, you could hear them when they were out on the thing. Those NASCAR guys, man, they are loud. Loud, loud, loud. And they go really fast. Have you ever been to a NASCAR race, you guys? In real life? IRL, as the kids would say these days. That's how they would say it, IRL. Or maybe they would say that, they would have said that 10 years ago. I could be behind. Now look, I'm gonna cheat here and do these 2 at once. Look at me being all efficient and stuff. But you do still need to get a little liquid glue on the outline die too. Anyway, we went to the NASCAR race one year in Delaware when we were up there for a test, and we actually worked the race. We we worked delivering food to one of the skyboxes, and during a break we went down by the track, right next to the track. Oh my gosh. You know, when you watch them on TV, you really can't even hardly, I mean, you know they're going fast because they're telling you that they're going fast and they're like showing the speedometers and stuff, but oh my goodness, when you stand right next to the track, they are just flying, and they fling up, they fling rubber up on the side of I mean, if you're standing by the fence, you'll get hit by rubber from their tires, which I did not really realize that. I always kind of wondered why they had to change their tires so many times, but now I know, because they lose half of the dang rubber on every trip around the track. It's crazy. That one fell out. God said, nope, you got to do them all one at a time, Mary. I'm not going to let you do 2 at once. That's not fair. That's cheating. because you don't know, your people may not be able to keep them stuck in there. They may not get lucky like you did. So you need to show them all how it's done. And you can see it does help if you turn your card around and move it around a little bit so that you can get into there better. And if you don't have tweezers, just get them before you even try this, okay? Just saying. Now the other thing you could do is, if you didn't like the silver centers, you could use those same dies again to cut a different color. Maybe you wanted to add a third color into your design. I was aiming for this kind of monochromatic look here. I feel like I got it, even with the silver. But this silver, Las Vegas, oh yeah. Yep. Yes, it's a different kind of place, Dover, Delaware. I thought when we moved there that it was going to be New England, and I was quite wrong. It was not at all. It is not at all like New England. I was actually a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed in Delaware. Didn't mind not having sales tax. I have to admit that. That was a pretty nice little perk. But I also did think it was funny when people would say, "Where do you live?" And I'd say, "In Delaware." And they'd say, "What state is that?" No, that is the state. So not one that people remember, although it is the first state. So that was kind of an interesting little piece of trivia. See how I'm kind of yakking to try to fill this so that we don't have a lot of dead space while you watch me make cement dry by putting liquid glue on the back of all these die cuts. I promise it goes pretty quick once this is done. And you got to admit, there's nothing very hard about this. This is just, you know, this is just kind of a, it's just kind of a thing. It's just a thing that you got to do. And to me, it's a little bit like practicing your fussy cutting on cutting envelope flaps. This is very good liquid glue technique training. I just made that up. Liquid glue technique training. Yeah, we lived in Delaware for 3 years while I was stationed at Dover. All right, and then we went back. I went back. We ran a test out of Dover, a C5 test, and I went back for that. And that was when we went to the NASCAR. The NASCAR race was fascinating. The people are fascinating. A lot of them, they come in their RVs. And I'm certain they pay money to be in their RVs there and camp in the campground, right outside, in the campground, right outside the racetrack. But what was interesting is that so many of them were sitting under their awnings watching the race on TV at their RV while the race was just through the entryway. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was cheaper. I don't know. But I mean, you know, truly they could probably see better because the camera, they show you the whole track. So they probably were getting the best of all the worlds. They got their beer and they got their hot dogs and they could hear the sound. And they didn't get pummeled with asphalt. And they got to sit and enjoy their little tailgater. I will say, we were filthy when we got done that evening and went home. We were all black, even though we hadn't hardly even been down by the track hardly at all. We were black. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dab of liquid glue in all these little holes. And we'll put in that center piece. A little more dab, a little bigger dab. You still don't need a lot of dab. Can you see how little of a dab I'm using? It's truly a little dab. See how little of a dab? Very little dab. The dabbage is small. And now we'll just stick these in. And just stick it down and leave it be. And let that liquid glue do its job. I looked a little goofy because when I first did this, I wasn't thinking about using this centerpiece, and so I kind of just let them go everywhere. So I was sifting through the little scraps over by my cutter, trying to find 12 of them. so that I wouldn't have to cut another one. Get out of my way there. But I did. I found them all. But this I like this color. The blue and the silver makes me think Air Force. This would be a great card if you changed it and used a congratulations sentiment for somebody graduating from the Air Force Academy, or who just got a promotion in the Air Force, because the color scheme is very Air Forcean. I think that would be good. Oh, now look. Am I going to be able to find that last one, or am I going to have to go cut another one? There it is. Tried to get away from me. All right. So there's the card front. We'll get our sentiment here in just a cent. I bet it is really expensive. I'll bet it is really expensive. But maybe it was cool. Maybe that was like the best of all the worlds for them, was to be outside in their RVs, but they got the fun, sorta. Okay, now we're gonna stamp Thinking of You in Night of Navy on a piece of basic white. And then I'm going to go off camera for 2 seconds and cut it out with the smallest textured notes die. So we're going to use this one right here, and I'm just going to cut that right out of the center. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Please don't leave. Don't be leaving. If you leave me now, you'll take away the very heart of me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, there we go. Whew. Got it done quick so you didn't have to listen to too many singing songs. Hanging on. There we go. Oh, it did not cut well. So hang on, I gotta do another one. Hang on. That did not do well at all, so we're gonna try again. Yes, they are an online exclusive now. Yep. Their stamp set is retiring, but these are sticking around. All right, hopefully I will do a better, yes. Yeah, they are pretty loud too. Okay, hang on, let me try again. Sorry, guys. Sorry, so sorry, Charlie. So sorry, Charlie. Alright, there we go. Oop, put this back where it goes. Now we're going to use some dimensionals to put this on the card front over that ribbon. And then we're going to raise up our little leaves. Now the leaves won't stay up when you send it through the mail, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Okay. All right. And we'll get that, see if we can get it kind of straightish. So does that look straight, you guys? Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, now we'll take a length of the ribbon. Air Force Academy in May. Yay! Goes to Georgia for helicopter training. Ooh, that's a hard get for the Air Force because there's not a bunch of Air Force helicopter pilots. She's going to maybe Savannah? Maybe? All right. Now I cut that extra long because I'm not real good at bows. That's awesome. That's really awesome, Linda. Tell her congratulations from me. Now let's see. I remembered how to do this. Let me see. All right. We were watching Landman just before I started the video. I love that show. It's on Paramount Plus. If you haven't seen it, it's got Tommy Lee Jones and Sam Elliott now, which is really kind of fun. Sam Elliott, my goodness. That gentleman aged real well. He's a handsome feller. Okay, so we got our, you can just kind of play with your ribbon, your bow to make it look pretty. That probably needs to be smaller. You would think at this time in my life, at the ripe old age of 32, that I could make a bow better and easier than that, but I can't. So there you go. But we got it. We got it. All right. And then we'll just cut these little tails off. And then I thought it would be fun. That needs to be a little smaller. Well, we'll fix it. I thought it would be fun to add some hues. Tommy Lee Jones, yeah. It's a very, very good. Tommy Lee Jones is the main character, and he is well, he's a landman, which is the guy that does all the work. He's like the Captain Kirk of the oil fields in West Texas, and actually Middle Texas, in the Permian Basin, which, oh my goodness. If anybody lives in West Texas, please don't be offended, because, well, in the Permian Basin really is where it is. This is just the ugliest ribbon bow I have ever made. Well, I will fix it when we get done. It's supposed to be a bow on there, y'all. Look, this is how it's supposed to look. It's really cute when you do it right. I'm having trouble with it. Okay, so I'm just going to add some Misty Moonlight and white. We'll kind of mix them up. Not use those big ones. Yeah, we'll use a white one right there, and another white one. And then we'll do a Misty Moonlight down here. Now let's do a white big, and two little Misty Moonlights down here. And then we're going to put one on the sentiment, and that will be our card front once I get this bow to behave itself, because right now it's being a persnickety little bugger. There, we'll get it. Okay, so there's the card front. Now on the inside we're going to stamp, thank you, we're going to stamp this little row of tulips, and we're going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight. And let me pull it to me so I can make sure it's kind of straight. Straight. I'm kind of eyeballing my grid paper there on either side of the cardstock. And then we're going to do the sentiment. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. I'm going to do the sentiment, which is somewhere around here. Oh, you know what I think I did? No wonder hang on a second, I know what I did. I'm a doofus, I'm a goober. I put this sentiment, I couldn't figure out why, when I was putting away this stamp set, I had too many stamps. Pretty sure this is Sending a Garden of Love does not go with the A Round of Hellos stamp set. No, it does not. I was like, man, I know I got all of those off of there, but in fact I didn't, because that one was trying to impersonate as A Round of Hellos sentiment, and it was not. It wasn't. So let's go ahead and put that on there, and we're going to stamp it in Night of Navy. I'm going to do a stamp over here to be sure I've got a good image. Straighten that up and kind of center it right there. There we go. All right. Thanks, Marva. I like how crisp everything is with the blue and the white, and then the pop of silver is just like the perfect touch. All right. Here we go. And being that there's no DSP, we're going to stamp on our basic white medium envelope right quick like a bunny. And I am going to stamp, there's 2 images that go together to make a flower. So I'm going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight on the front. I'll stamp the leaves first, and then the flower. Whoop. Okay. And then on the envelope flap, we're going to stamp that little line of tulips again. Again in Misty Moonlight. And that looks about centered. There we go. And there is our card. There you go. So, oof. There we go. I gotta fix that. I can't believe I'm having so much trouble with that bow. But there's how it's gonna look sort of in the end, but the bow will be better by the time I get done with it. All right, so there you go. Sunshine and Tulips. Really, really cute little set. Don't be mistaken. Sending a Garden of Love goes with Sunshine and Tulips, so you're gonna want it. It's got a lot of nice sentiments, and I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll add it to your list. All right, guys, I appreciate you spending some time with me and sticking with me when I was having my audio difficulties. And hope I'll see you on Thursday. Have a great rest of your weekend and a good start to your week. Thank you so much. Ta.